Yeah, there's a lot of interesting transitions and transactions happening in the state of California,
For sure.
whether that's on a political sense or a taxation sense, which I
Mm-hmm.
guess kind of goes hand in hand. But we were talking before the show here, and it sounds like you're quite the expert of helping people get out of California and going into different states. How did you kind of fall into that? Because it is a special
No,
niche.
it
You got to
is.
know what
Yeah,
you're doing.
there's some differences there. I mean, the selling of the house, that's the easy part here, but making the whole process a smooth transaction, and that's what's important to me is just, I like helping people. So selling the house is just a piece of it. Like, you actually need to help the people get whatever their goals are. Like, take them from point A to all the way through Z, get them to what their goal was. And so one of our really good friends was one of the first people that moved. They moved to Tennessee like 4 years ago. And so that was where I kind of cut my teeth on the actual moving. And that ended up, I learned a lot in that transaction. Not in a bad way as far as, there were some unique circumstances. Actually, I called you. You probably remember this one. My clients, they were actually selling their house, and the market was not what it is today. Like, you didn't just put your house, have it sold. So it was on the market for a couple weeks. They're trying to buy a home in Tennessee, and they got the home in Tennessee under contract. And so we had one offer come in. That was it. And it was a strong offer, but it was contingent on them selling their house. Mm-hmm. So they were right in the middle. And everything seemed to be going good, and it was going good until the person buying the very first home decided not to show up to signing loan docs. Do you remember this, Susan?
Oh my gosh!
Do you remember this one?
Yes.
With David States?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't
Oh
know if
my
I should say that or
gosh.
not, but
No, it's
not
okay.
David's
yeah,
fault.
no, it was
Yeah.
good, and he fixed it, but man, that was stressful. And so basically the people backed out and they never showed up. And I'm like, you have to fix this. Because it's a 4-day drive from here to Tennessee, my clients had already left, and all of their stuff is packed up in 4 pods being shipped across the country.
That's not a phone call you like to make.
Oh, no. And so and to make things worse, I call them and I'm all, hey, so-and-so, I got some bad news. She's all, oh no, not more bad news. I'm like, what do you mean more bad news? She's all, I just got rear-ended. I was like, all right.
Bad timing.
It was terrible. It was terrible. And actually, Michael Urain was the buyer's agent on that one, and he, by the grace of God, had a buyer who was looking for that exact house. And so he was able to get that buyer. It was an FHA appraisal, so they were able to get that buyer in there and close in 17 days. And I had to beg and plead with the listing agent over in Tennessee and literally give a daily update on the entire thing from that point moving forward. It was just a complete nightmare. But some other interesting things to learn from it about relocating out of state and stuff like that, like those same people had left. And when the husband worked from home, he worked from home, but it was a big company selling canopies out here. And when he got there, they said, sure, that's fine. You can work remote. I mean, you already work remote. He's a sales guy. And they had Kaiser insurance. Well, there are no Kaisers in Tennessee. So they no longer had health insurance. And so when they got out there, they could get it, but it was a large expense that they now had to pay for themselves that they hadn't factored in. So I learned a lot of stuff like that. And which is really, that's what I'm saying, like, you need to take your clients from point A to, and again, they knew I did it. They were friends of mine. They didn't, that was my first out-of-state transaction. Since then, my brothers moved out there. My dad's moved to Tennessee. Had a couple, 2 or 3 different clients move to Arizona, Washington, Oregon. I've done a lot more, and again, now I know what to look out for. I mean, there's things that you really have to check to help that be a smooth transition.